Hello everyone, I'm joined today by Muffin, or Muffins.
Hello.
I should probably... Which one do you prefer?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Plural or singular, doesn't matter.
And we're here to wish happy birthday to Fall Guys. It's 3!
3 years old, oh my god.
3 to play, as I saw someone say on Twitter earlier.
Oh, that's a good hashtag.
Yeah.
3 to play.
A nice one. And speaking of Twitter, or X, if you're an idiot, that is where you might know Muffins from, because you, just in case anyone doesn't know, you leak the game and look into the code and the strings and find out what is going on in it.
I leak the stuff that mediatonic doesn't tell us, which is everything, frankly.
Pretty much, yeah, at this rate. I do wonder how much of that is down to Epic and how much is down to them, or if they just don't have people, or it just seems to be such a different company from when the game launched.
Yeah, it is. It's very different. Oh,
So
here we go. I'm so excited for this.
So we're gonna kick off this episode with the anniversary stumble map created by Crispy Squid, and this is gonna be like a run through every level in original season 1.
Oh yeah, there's Hit Parade. These fences, this is crazy.
And then after this, we're gonna be doing the thing you all came to see or hear if you're listening to this video in podcast form. The interview. I have some questions ready. This is gonna be interesting. I've never done an interview before.
I've never done an interview either.
Apart from job interviews, but that's not the same. Oh look, it was the end of DoorDash.
Oh, nice.
I guess the whole thing was DoorDash.
This is already crazy. I think I saw on Twitter this took 6,500 budget to do, which is wild.
And people are probably wondering, how did a map get made with 6,500 budget? The answer is the
mod.
the Creative Expansion Pack mod, which is now publicly released, I believe.
Yep, it's out for everybody. I don't have like a link or anything. You could put one in the description.
Yeah,
I don't have
that'll
one.
be there. Now, none of this is approved by Mediatonic. Obviously, it's at use at your own risk. Use an alt, and be careful if you're using like a really old computer.
Oh no!
Oh wow, this is really bouncy. This is clever.
I got killed by the fruit.
Oh no!
I've never been good at fruit shoot. Oh yeah, wait, can I see?
Yeah, the bounce things work actually. They're really powerful.
Oh, there we go. That's much better.
That's really well built. It's clever stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so this is. Oh, this is Jinxed. Whoa! Can you imagine in like 10 years when we're able to make our own like team games and stuff?
Oh, that's gonna be so good when we can do that.
Even not even just like your own game, but just like the ability to make your own map for Jinxed. Because I love Jinxed. It's such an interesting level. Oh,
Jinxed is actually. Oh wow, this is cool. I was not expecting.
There's a
this.
yeet. Alright, I gotta
Do these fall? Oh, can you imagine if the darker ones actually fell?
Actually fell, yeah. Oh.
Oh wow.
I'm on top of Bonkus.
You just did a trick shot.
That counts, so count that.
Whirligig.
Now we're in Whirligig, yep. Can I bark skip?
This is so nicely done.
They got the yeet, the sideways yeet that doesn't actually exist anymore.
Oh, sorry about that. That's getting edited out.
Oh, look at the gate crash.
Oh.
You can stand on this.
Can I grab?
I saw Crispy when he was making this posted this. So these are the paddles. Like the ones from Hit Parade, they're like 2-pronged and they're stuck through the floor, and that's how he made the gates.
That's genius.
Yeah, I don't know how they don't like move or anything. It's kind of weird you can stand on the edge of them.
It feels like we've gone back in time to Fall Guys Season 1 and it's frozen.
Are any of these maps vaulted? No, I think all those. No, wait, no, never mind. Fruit Shoot is vaulted actually. So
oh yeah, yeah, they fruit.
I forgot about that.
Oh, we end with Full Mountain.
I do not miss Fruit Shoot. I never liked Fruit Shoot, but
oh, no.
Can I? I can shortcut it.
Oh, I just got a really weird boost.
Oh no! Oh no! That was great.
Was an awesome level.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Christy. And also, I believe Doug Toshi was the other person that made it. They worked together on it. Which I don't know how they did that, because you can't really like work together in creative, but I'm sure they found a way.
Yeah, because there's no way to kind of send a file across or anything, is there?
Maybe there is. I was part of that Discord server that Coda has, and I think he did mention that like there is a complicated way where like you can basically send the level, like the file for the level, and then someone else can load it up like directly. So maybe that's what they're doing. Or maybe they were just in a call together and they like kind of made calls.
Oh yeah, maybe that was it.
But that was crazy. Really shows you what can be done when you take all the limitations off.
I can only assume that the limitations we have in creative are to stop any risk, because I'm willing to bet Epic does not want to get sued by anyone's family because their kid's console blew up or something.
Yeah.
But I
do think that it'll be adjusted over time, at least somewhat.
It does seem maybe a bit extreme, but maybe they just felt like they would start that way and then just see how things go.
A lot of limitations are in place because they would run into an issue and they wouldn't know how to fix it right now, and then they like were coming up on launch because they just had to like put in this limitation for now to stop the issue from happening, and hopefully it'll be fixed later.
Because creative mode was actually developed by a different company, wasn't it? Yeah,
Wushu Studios basically made most of the creative. I think what Mediatonic did was they just made sure that they could get it to work with Fall Guys, like in the Fall Guys engine, and connect it together. Whereas Wushu made like it separately entirely, and then they connected it.
So is the rest of Fall Guys still all Unity?
Yeah, I believe it's still all Unity.
So creative mode isn't in that respect then?
I think it is still in Unity, but it's not like made in the same Unity that like Fall Guys itself is. It's just like the same. It's the same engine, but it's not.
Okay. So does that mean
it's not made in their version of it?
Yeah.
I suppose.
I wonder if that means the end of all the Unity style levels. If they're making everything in creative now, I'm not sure.
I hope not. I mean, we know that the SpongeBob level was made in Unity, and that was before Creative came out, so that might be our very last Unity level.
Yeah, because that was in development quite a while back, wasn't it?
That was in development during Season 8, which was a long time ago.
Yes.
Almost a year ago now, actually.
So I guess that's probably why that one is
yeah, so that will probably be the very last Unity level. I mean, we don't yet know, so what they said on their blog was that from now on, the new levels will be made in creative, but they didn't specify, like, our creative, they just said, like, creative, so I wonder if Mediatonic has, like, a lot more powerful version of creative.
I would be willing to bet that Mediatonic's version of creative has a lot less limits on it.
Yeah, probably doesn't have a budget.
So, would you like your first official interview question? It feels like we've already been starting an interview, but
you didn't technically ask me a question. I was just talking.
Okay, so when did you actually start playing Fall Guys?
I started. It was the first month it came out. I believe it was right near the end of August.
Yeah.
It was out for a couple weeks. I saw it on YouTube. I saw some content creators playing it.
Oh, do you remember who it was?
I want to say, I think it was like Markiplier. Maybe Markiplier and Jack.
I actually watched... I've watched a lot of Markiplier's horror game stuff, but I didn't even realize that he'd actually played Fall Guys. So I actually only just watched his Fall Guys video, like his first one.
Oh wow.
Last week.
I think he won it like his very first game, didn't he?
I think so, yeah. It had something like 8 million views. And
oh wow.
That kind of thing just makes you remember how huge Fall Guys was when it first came out.
So yeah, I started playing back then, and then I was like, this game looks really interesting, so I started playing it, and I was just playing by myself at the time. I didn't have any friends that had played it or even really heard of it. And I was very bad.
Yeah, I was terrible.
As all of us were.
I actually played with keyboard and mouse the first time. That did not go well.
Oh god.
Because I didn't have a controller.
I just immediately turned on my controller. Like, I was like, this is a platform, I'm gonna have to play this with a controller.
This game is actually the reason I own a controller. I didn't have one before this game, but I liked the game enough and was bad enough at it that I thought I'm actually buying a controller, and that's why I have one now.
My least favorite level when I was first starting out was Block Party, because I would get killed by it almost every time. Because back then there was a thing where, like, if your feet got caught in the blocks in Block Party, it was really hard to get them freed from it.
Oh.
Which, like, doesn't really happen anymore. You had to, like, walk backwards to free your feet and then jump over, and it's just, like, it was just a weird trick you had to know.
Did you ever see the beta footage of Block Party?
I did. It looks really cool. It
did.
looks like the Season 4 theme. The like neon with like the fog. It's very neat. It would be cool to see it again someday. It'd be cool if we got like that as like a theme for creative, like the old beta theme. But the beta for Fall Guys was kind of just like a bunch of different themes, because they hadn't decided yet they were gonna just stick everything into one theme. So you had like DoorDash was like jungle themed. You had Block Party was like neon themed. So it was very different. Wall Guys was actually supposed to come out in Season 1, I believe, but it didn't get finished.
I've
and then
seen the
they themed it around the whole castle thing, and they're like, oh, we could put it in Season 2.
So, what is your actual favorite level in the entire game?
My single favorite level? That's a good question. Are we talking like overall or non-vaulted?
Overall, any level that's ever existed in the game.
That's a good question.
And that can be any version, any variation. Like if there's one that changed or a variation on it that you prefer.
My favorite variation they've ever done was the Skiffle with wormholes. Was my favorite variation.
Oh, that was cool.
I could have played hours of that as a show by itself. It was just so fun to mess with. Oh dear.
I wish the variations, like every variation, was still available. If you could just randomly still get the wormhole variations and stuff, that would be amazing.
Actually, with the vaulting of Puzzle Path and Hoop Shoot in this season, wormholes are now completely out of the game. There are no levels of wormholes left.
That's a shame.
So, I think perhaps something happened with the wormholes that they needed to be taken out for now.
Must have broken in some way, like everything else.
Thank you for carrying me.
Oh, it's okay. I missed the wormholes. That was a great event.
I might have to break this into like my favorite of each type of level. That might be easier.
Yep.
My favorite race level. Technically, Skiffle is a race level.
Have you played the Have you played it in the vault since they added the sliding?
Yeah, they added the sliding. It's so much fun.
It is brilliant.
I love the sliding, how fast you can go. There's different tricks you can do now. You can go for like holes you couldn't normally get to at different times, which is very cool.
Hey, we get to paint.
We do. Let's go. This is a good level.
Do we get extra? No, we are just a duo still in this. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, this is a logic round, but only in duos. Which is interesting. I'm not sure if that's intentional.
No, I think I set our region to US Central because I couldn't remember which region.
Okay. So I am US East. There you go.
Sorry.
There we go. We got a target. Yeah, this is a very nice level. I like
yeah.
I love me some pixel painters.
So many people hate it, but it's not the game's fault.
At least when I'm not with randoms anyway.
Yeah.
I will say it's quite easy for someone who, even unintentionally, can mess you up, you know, just not knowing what to do.
Well, that's not it.
Wait, what do we have?
Hang on a second.
Is it this? Oh. There you go, okay.
Painting
of course, Slime Scraper is always a great level.
Absolutely.
I do miss it. What did I see? Oh, I was watching one of your streams, well, the VOD of you playing the Vault Show recently.
Yeah.
And you got a good few times there, which was cool. I like how it looks now. It has a way different visual style in this season for some reason. I'm not even sure if it's intentional.
Oh, like the lighting and a bunch of the colors.
Yeah, the lighting's different. The floor is light blue underneath now, which it wasn't before.
I like the changes.
That's kind of the thing about this, is you never know when something is an intentional change, when it's just a thing that happened.
Yeah.
So, if I had to put on my leaker speculation hat for a moment, perhaps they're trying to like redo the season 4 theme in creative, and so they need to change the colors of some things around, and that has a knock-on effect. Because when season 10 came out, we had different colors and slightly different versions of season 1 legacy stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff changed subtly, didn't it?
There was a lot of visual changes to maps like Dizzy Heights and such, where they had different colors, floors, and stuff, which I really did like, but unfortunately, I guess it ended up not being intentional, because they took it away in 10.1.
I think the lighting overall must have changed in some way, because all the gold skins look very shiny.
They're very shiny. I love how Hex Terrestrial looks now.
Oh,
it's
looks
way more
better.
glowy.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that when they did the announcement stream for season 10. I was like, oh, that looks like a completely different lighting.
The whole game looks more vibrant to me.
It does.
Which is definitely a good thing.
They up the contrast.
The game's always been a nice, colourful, vibrant game, but now it's like even more extreme.
Yep. But as for my favorite levels, I mean, most people know that my favorite final is Blast Ball.
Okay. It's one of my least favorites.
Which is a controversial choice.
But the only reason it's one of my least favorites is because it's like the most fun, but I hate how... It's probably just a me problem, but I just get targeted relentlessly. And I cannot do anything. Which,
because of the name.
I don't know, but I would love there to be some kind of disguise feature. Every now and again, I don't want people to know who I am.
Put it on, not like a disguise for your character, but rather like for your name.
For the name,
yeah. That would be cool for like content creators and stuff, because otherwise you do get targeted a lot. Uh-oh.
I got a little bit stuck there.
Jeez, okay. We're fine.
Oh, you've got the cool name tag.
Oh, you mean the... What is my name? I don't even remember what my name tag is.
It's like,
Oh, it's the one that came with this costume, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't describe it, but it's nice. I love the colors in it.
Yeah, my whole persona on this account is this costume, because I don't have any other cool costumes.
Nice.
Oh, jeez. Okay, we're okay. Everything's fine.
Only 2 other people.
Oh, geez. I think they might be together, though. If they're together, I have a problem.
Yeah.
Because they could silly grab me, and that would be not good.
You can
Is there a way across here? Oh, there's not.
I believe in you.
Oh, no!
Wait. No! Oh well.
Wait, just still going?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, I guess they
weren't together. Huh.
That was strange.
That was weird. I landed on the back edge of the tile and it just bounced me backwards off of it. Hexering can be a bit odd like that sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Do you find yourself playing on that account more now, or?
Yeah, I play on this account mainly for a couple reasons. One, I actually have progression to do, because the other account I've hit the max crown rank, so it's just like, besides my number going up by 1, nothing really happens. So,
do you think they'll ever change that?
Like, up the crown rank? I'm sure they'll up it again at some point. Maybe. I do wonder if perhaps the upcoming ranked mode is going to just change the crown ranks entirely and like do away with the old system and change it up.
I wonder if ranked mode will actually do anything when it comes to the amount of crowns that people have, whether they'll change anything related to that.
I think what is a far more preferable thing, especially for the kinds of players that are going to want to play ranked, is probably to not really have it be about crowns, but have its own custom rewards system. I just got hit by 3 stars in a row. Ow.
Ouch. What would you like to see in ranked mode?
I saw the suggestion. This is probably 2 years ago. This is before the game went free to play, and I saw this on the subreddit because people used to post suggestions for what they wanted to see in the game. And I saw this idea of basically kind of like how Fortnite has their own kind of special rewards for playing their ranked mode or whatever. It's basically, instead of getting crowns and stuff, you get this special currency that then the shop has a section for the ranked currency that has exclusive ranked items.
Okay.
So you get say, I don't know, ranked stars, and then you can pay these ranked stars to buy cosmetics that are only for playing ranked.
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing for them to go for, definitely.
Because one thing that really does help is if you give people a more reason to check the shop, every day, that helps them. So
What's your favorite season of Fall Guys?
My favorite season. Are you talking overall or like visual design? Overall.
So levels, visuals, maybe costumes that were released in it, everything.
I know most people will say season 4, and season 4 was a very good season. But I think for me, it's got to be season 3. I've always loved winter. I love the winter aesthetic. Some of my favorite levels came out in season 3. You have Ski Fall, you have Roll Off, you have Thin Ice.
Freezy Peak.
Freezy Peak's good. What else? Oh, Snowball. I don't know. You were here for original Snowball, right? Before it was changed. It was. For those who don't know, it was like the stomping ground of season 3 because the snowballs used to hit you and fling you halfway across the map.
Yeah, you could get launched straight out of that ball.
And now it's like they can run you straight over and nothing will happen to you. So it's changed a lot.
Yeah, I felt like I was cheating when they changed that. You could get hit right in the face and you just fall over. And it would roll over you. No, if anything,
it's more dangerous now to be like clipped by it.
I guess, yeah.
So yeah, I'd say season 3 now. It also brought in a lot of big change. Like it brought the crown ranks.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of big gameplay changes in season 3,
which definitely helped me to keep grinding. I remember when they put out the crown ranks, and we saw how many you needed for gold, and I was like, I'm never getting gold, like never happening. And then a year goes by, and I'm like, a little bit more than halfway there. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna get this just from playtime.
Yeah. And they give out so many crowns now, anyway, don't they?
Yeah. They give out, what is it? It's like 37 crowns per Fame Pass, which is a lot.
So many.
And I don't really have a problem with that. I wish they would put like some kudos in there because that's really what people don't have a lot of.
Yeah.
And I know kind of why they don't, because the kudos items are meant to be a little bit not as good. I'm sorry, B-bot, but you were right in front of me and I didn't trust you, so I had to get rid of you.
Oh, the bee. That bee was hunting me down.
Okay, good. Well, then I don't feel bad. But yeah, I think that there's definitely a reason why the kudos items are not as good as the showbooks, when obviously they want to encourage you to buy the stuff that helps them to run the game in the servers. But I do think that the kudos items this season were pretty good. I liked a lot of them. Unfortunately, I ran out of them in the first 2 weeks because there's not that many of them.
Yeah, there's some fun ones. I like the light bulb. That's a good one. And some of the shoes.
The light bulb's good. The belts are nice. I like the unicorn belt is very cute. What else do they have? One thing that has really disappointed me this season, and as of right now it hasn't changed, is that we haven't gotten a single nickname or banner. And they have so many good ones
banners that haven't been used, aren't there?
We've gotten only the collab ones, obviously, and then we've gotten a couple ones that got event rarity and were done for the Digi trials and such.
Would there be any chance that the unused ones were made by artists that no longer work for the company, and maybe there's some kind of issue with using them?
That could be the case. What I think they're going to end up doing, regardless of whether I don't know why they're not being used, but I think when season 11 comes, they're probably going to dump all those nicknames and banners into the daily kudos shop.
Oh yeah, is the shop still being updated? I saw some screenshots, I think, that it might be changing.
For the daily kudos shop, as far as I'm aware, it hasn't changed. However, a couple things have been put into it that were supposed to be there, but just weren't there properly. And usually this doesn't get reported because it's just such a minor thing, and we, especially me, having basically have every item in the game on my main, it's hard for me to know what it was and wasn't available to get because I just have everything from Legacy.
Another good reason to have an alt account.
Yeah, my alt gives me a reason to check the shop. I'm actually looking for certain things, although I haven't gotten anything I'm after, which kind of sucks.
So speaking oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, I think something that would be kind of interesting for them to do is if you could pay either kudos or maybe even showbucks to re-roll your shop.
I'd like that.
If you really wanted to.
That would be good.
Because it's only upsides for them because they're getting more showbucks purchases potentially.
Exactly.
And you get to get a different shop. So
I feel like there are so many options for further monetization with all the costumes and stuff. Stuff just isn't available that people want.
I think it's crazy how much Legacy stuff still hasn't been made available to free-for-all players. feels like actually just not letting people give you money.
Yeah. Oh, do you think there's any reason for that, or do you think it's just they've been doing other stuff instead?
I think part of it is maybe there's a chance they don't think that some of the legacy cosmetics are up to the standard they have now for cosmetics. Some of the older costumes are not nearly as detailed as the ones we have now, which I could understand.
Could there be
actually, when Season 9 came out...
I got stuck.
Oh no.
Do you think there could be any licensing issues with older ones? Like, we obviously
definitely
know that
with the
Steam
collabs.
ones, yeah.
Like, for example, the Goose, Untitled Goose game, everybody wants the Goose costume, but like, Mediatonic doesn't get to control if they can bring back collabs. That would be on the IP holder. This happens with Fortnite a lot, where people ask for collabs to come back, and the collab person has to agree. Like, if they paid for a exclusivity window, they can't bring it back. So
stuff like this has happened with even bigger games. Like, if you buy Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or Vice City on Steam these days, half the songs will be missing from the original release because they don't have the copyright anymore.
Oh wow.
So things like that happen quite a lot in games that carry on for a long time.
But I think another part of it is also they want to save. At least they used to bundle random legacy cosmetics with costumes and stuff and make like a big bundle out of it. They haven't really done that. The shop has been very strange lately. There's not been much new in it, and they kind of like don't do the like bundles where they have like a costume and a pattern and a face and a color all together anymore. They just have the costumes really. But the shop has always confused me because I've always felt like they could be making so much more money.
They really could, and that makes me sad. If that's the kind of thing that will help out the game, then hopefully it'll happen. So do you have a favourite costume? Like a go-to?
If I had to just pick one, probably the Diva Project, which has never come back. I know there are so many people that like I've told, you know, like if I ever hear anything about them bringing it back, I will let my followers know because so many of my followers are like, what is that costume in your you know icon? Because it doesn't exist anymore. If you run into one now, it's like, wow, that's an old costume.
Do you like the recolor one as well, the event one?
Yeah, that was really good. That was a fun event too. That was a very fun way to celebrate the end of the season. For those who weren't here, the end of season 5, there was a 5-day event where every day they had a show for each of the seasons that had happened so far. Yeah. And then once you completed all 5 shows, and you got the Pop Royalty costume, which is a recolor of the Diva Project.
Those events were great. It was a really fun event.
And then season 6 didn't have an end of season event. That's mostly because the Satellite Stars event was supposed to be the end of the season, and then when they extended season 6, they forgot to move that event. So they ended up just like a very anticlimactic ending where it just kind of stopped.
Yeah. So taking it away from Fall Guys for a minute, what was the first video game you actually remember playing?
First game I remember
So it might not have even been one that you bought, but one that you just played.
First game I remember playing, that's a good question. I remember my first console was the GameCube.
Oh, my favorite console. Did you ever play Luigi's Mansion?
It is such a good costume. I did not. I never had most of the like Nintendo, like actual Nintendo games. I had a lot of like third-party games.
Mario Sunshine?
But no, I didn't play that either. I didn't play a Mario game until what was my first Mario game? I played Mario Party on the GameCube. Whichever one, I think there's multiple for the GameCube actually. Yeah. Let me drop down so you can have all that.
Oh, okay. I was about to do the same, so I'm glad that we communicated that. That would have been embarrassing.
Purple there. The first game I remember playing significantly was probably Smash Melee on the GameCube.
That's a great game.
And then my favorite game on the GameCube though was Kirby Air Ride.
I've never played that.
I like racing games.
Yeah.
It's a really good game. I every time that we get to like another anniversary of it, I'm hoping that Nintendo will release like a remaster of it or a new one or something.
Have you seen that new Kirby game, the trailer? It actually looks a bit like Fall Guys.
Oh yeah, the Dream Buffet. It looks really fun.
It does.
If I had any kind of Nintendo console.
Yeah, my most recent one is still my GameCube.
I thought about getting a Switch, but now it's like the Switch is getting on in years, and there now are rumors that they're going to be making a Switch 2 soon, like next year. They're going to be doing a new console, so kind of feels like a waste to buy a Switch now. But it does look a lot like Fall Guys. In fact, it has my dream theme Fall Guys, which is that like dessert food theme, which I'm assuming is just inevitability.
Oh, I just bounced off a tile. I'm sorry.
Oh no! So much of this game
today.
has been food themed, so I feel like it's only a matter of time before we get a food season.
Yeah, I mean we've got so many food costumes as well, and even unused.
That's part of what worries me is that like they're gonna be like, well, we've already done so many food costumes. What could we possibly do for this food season?
I guess. Yeah.
Which would not be good. Is that guy die spell? No, he's not.
The blue bean with the scarf is pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
But
Hold on.
don't
is
think.
Anybody? Oh, is that guy there?
Oh, he landed it. But if you cut him off, you got all of that, and then I think.
Okay.
Let me just count. 1, 2, 3. I think you have more than the other guy. Just.
I'm gonna have to slow dice roll.
Yeah, you got this. Nice.
So.
Thanks for the carry.
You're welcome. But I was a big PC gamer. One of my first big birthday presents was a gaming PC. Not like you know, like $1,000 gaming PC like we have nowadays. This is, you know, the early 2000s. So, but I remember playing a lot of those games. I've always been fascinated by game design. Like I always loved any game that had like some kind of level creator or something like that. The first one I remember using was there was one for Warcraft. Warcraft 3 had a level creator, which actually.
Yeah. So did you ever beat the first game you played, or was the first game you beat later on, like a different one?
The first game I remember beating like to completion. It was a. I almost beat Kirby Air Ride, but there was a couple of challenges that I just could never quite finish. Because it had like, kind of like the Fall Guys marathon system where you had these long goals that you would just do over time.
Okay.
And so those ones would be okay, but then there'd be time trial ones that like I just could never quite do because they were quite difficult. So I almost beat that game. But the first game I remember like completing was there was a Scooby-Doo game on GameCube. I think it was Scooby-Doo Unleashed.
Scooby-Doo Unleashed.
It was
that sounds
cool.
fun.
Yeah, well, it was a fun.
I've never.
It had a concept of there was this kind of like magic, like rubber like substance that like had this property where you could make costumes out of it, and then the costumes gave you powers.
That sounds
and so
fun.
all the monsters were themed around that. But that was the first game I remember beating.
Was that a GameCube one or a?
Yeah, that was a GameCube one as well. The only consoles I've had, I had a GameCube, I had a PS2, which I really only played Burnout Revenge on. I think that was the one. I think that was the one I had. Burnout Revenge. Which,
that's a racing one, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a racing game, and then I had an Xbox 360 way later on. But mostly, I have been a PC gamer.
Yeah.
Mainly because, like I said, I like to make my own levels, and a lot of back then consoles didn't have level creators and things like that. It was a PC exclusive thing.
Did you ever do any of the like Roller Coaster Tycoon, Sims building, that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had Roller Coaster Tycoon. I think it was the third one.
You could do crazy things in those games.
You could, yeah. When I was a kid, I had a fascination with the entire like construction process. I had a whole bunch of like construction toys and whatnot. I really my parents would bring me to construction sites and I would just watch them work because I was a kid, and you know that was entertaining to me.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of games that were around that because you know that's a big, even now that's still a big thing. A lot of kids get into that kind of stuff. So I've always been fascinated with the design process of many things, and I guess that's kind of carried through now because I mean I graduated college with a degree in architecture, so I've never that fascination has never left me.
And that's also led you to be able to do things like looking at the code in games like Fall Guys.
Yeah, I've always been fascinated with how things work. I remember the reason I first looked into this whole thing was it was in Legacy Season 5, I believe. so I've been friends with Pancake for a while. We first became friends back in like Legacy Season 4.
Yeah.
He's the one that got me into the beta program.
Oh, cool.
Because he said he gave me an email and he's like, they were looking for new beta applicants. Here's the survey to fill it out. So he got me into the beta program. And I always find that funny because obviously Mediatonic doesn't want leakers in their beta program. But we were always able to find a way just because there was no way to verify identities and things like that. So he got me into that. And I remember there was a problem happening in Season 5 that was related to like how the shows were being structured and something was going wrong. And I was like, well, let me look in the strings and see if I can understand anything that's going on here. And that was my beginning of my fascination with that.
Awesome.
And now I like to joke that I possibly know the strings better than some people at Mediatonic do.
I think that's quite possible, and there'll be some questions about that later on. So, we asked what your favourite Fall Guys level was, and let's go the other way. If you could remove
my least favourite
permanently from the game one level, and it would never come back, what level would you take out?
Well, actually, I will say that I wouldn't actually, just because I've always been of the mentality that every level is somebody's favorite, and I would never want to take away somebody's favorite level.
Someone out there loves rhinos.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there are some people that do, and like, you know, like one of my favorite levels is a level that most people don't like, which is, I really like Fall Ball, which is an extremely divisive level.
I like Fall Ball. It's one of my favorites as well.
Like, when I'm playing with Doge Master, like, he absolutely hates Fall Ball. So we have that, like, dichotomy there. So it's like, you know, imagine if Fall Ball got taken away because somebody else didn't like it. So, no, I wouldn't want to remove anything, especially because I don't even like, you know, the vaulting thing at all. But as for just, like, levels I just really dislike, I've never liked Fruit Shoot. I was kind of happy when it got vaulted. I've just always been bad at it. It always struck me as a level that, like, just didn't have much skill to it. Like, yeah, it was really short. It didn't have much skill to it. Like, whether you made it or not, didn't really feel like you had much control over that. It's just like, did you get hit by a fruit or not?
Yeah, that's the deciding factor, pretty much, isn't it?
Obviously, I'm not a big fan of rhinos. It's not my least favorite survival, though. My least favorite survival, I really don't like big shots, but that's just because it's boring. It's not because it's like bad, it's just boring.
Once you find the safe spot to stand in, you're basically you can AFK.
Except for the blast ball one, that one was fun.
That was great. I loved that one.
Hello, rhinos. Speaking of, I don't like for finals. I've never been a fan of Fall Mountain. I just found it too short and anticlimactic to be a good final. Okay. I don't find it as RNG as I used to, just because, like, it feels a lot more predictable now. You can kind of predict where the balls are going to land. Sure, every once in a while you get screwed over by something you can't really control, but that's just this game, I suppose.
Pretty much. There's always going to be that element of kind of silliness.
People who follow me know that I really don't like Hexagon, which is a very unpopular opinion.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hexagon, but I also completely understand anyone that doesn't like it. Especially when it gets to higher skill lobbies, it's a lot more luck-based.
I enjoy Royal Fumble. It's not my favorite final, but I do enjoy it. I know it's a very divisive final. It's been gone for so long now.
I really enjoy Royal Fumble. And a lot of people hate when I say that.
It's been gone since, I believe it was Season 7, near the end of Season 7 that it got removed, and then we haven't seen it since. It's been in the vault, of course, but actually getting it in there...
It was always rare, though, anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, because it was kept at 6, whereas every other final was kept at, well, it depends, I guess. There was no consistency. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Hopefully we're okay.
This is my new stomping ground method that I've been doing for the last few weeks.
The going in circles.
Yeah. It's actually almost never failed me. Almost.
Oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez.
See that?
Whoa,
I'm friends with the rhinos.
You befriended them.
Yep. It's weird how well that works.
I suppose I should answer what's my least favorite team game, because I'm sure people are interested. Probably Hoarders. I mean, that's probably not an unpopular opinion.
I'm happy to agree with that one.
I don't hate it like a lot of people do. It's just like it's kind of anticlimactic, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot going on.
It doesn't feel like there's that much you can do as an individual either. It's so kind of...
Something controversial that I like is I like Power Trip.
I don't mind
Power Trip. I know a lot of people don't.
It's okay.
It was one of my favorite squad finals. It was so good as a 4v4.
I feel like Power Trip could be really good with just... I don't know what, but just like a slight change, just to make it have a bit more...
I think Power Trip would be amazing with those power-ups that they have. If you could have like power-ups like that, like did different things during...
That would be good, like speed or a higher jump or something.
Yeah, or even like something that like you color like more tiles for a little bit.
Yeah. Like
a boost Goodbye Among Us.
Because it's basically I've just forgotten the game's name, but that Nintendo
Splatoon.
one, Splatoon, yeah. I was gonna say Pixel Painters, which is definitely not Splatoon.
Oh, speaking of, Ash, it's funny you bring up Pixel and Nintendo. You know why they changed the name of it, right? From Pixel Perfect. I looked into it and like, yeah, they did just copy the entire game. It's not even just the name; they copied the entire concept.
I guess it's kind of a simple concept, isn't it?
Yeah, but you'd think if you're gonna copy the concept, at least change the name.
Yeah.
It's just like Starlink, or Star Chart is internally called Starlink, which I can only assume they changed because that's the name of Elon Musk's internet company.
Yeah.
You need some assistance there.
Oh no, I'm fine. This guy's just having fun.
Alright, well I've killed 3 people.
Well done.
I basically killed anyone who came onto my tile because I don't trust anybody.
Oh no, you can never trust anyone in this game ever.
These 2 are just chilling. You know what? Let me break your thingy here. There you go.
We're gonna branch out even further from games now, and I'm gonna just ask: do you have a favorite musical artist?
Like, do you mean like a mainstream artist, or do you mean
like
anything?
Musician, singer, songwriter. Do you have a favorite?
I've always been a fan of rap music. My mother is a huge fan of Eminem, and
nice.
So that was a huge part of my childhood was rap music, and especially Eminem.
Did you ever watch 8 Mile?
I always liked his stuff. I have not. I was too young when it came out to see it, and then I've just never gotten around to watching it.
I actually rewatched it 2 weeks ago with my partner because she hadn't seen it yet. It's a good one. It's a nice story because obviously it's based on... Oh, we won on Eminem's life and his journey to fame. So it's definitely worth watching. I think it's on Netflix at the moment. Free advertisement for Netflix.
Sponsor.
Yeah. When's the Fall Guys Netflix costume coming out?
I would love them to do like a show, like a cartoon or something. When they got that new animation style in season 9, I was like, this would work really well for a little cartoon, some kind of like show.
Totally.
I'm very much into, because of the whole rap thing, I'm into rap about a lot of different subjects, and so I'm into this genre which is called nerdcore.
Okay.
It's basically just like geeky raps. Basically, it's like raps about like video games and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So I have a lot of artists I like about that, and one of them is the Stipendium, who they did a Fall Guys song, which was "And So We Fall," and that was actually featured in their big reveal stream for going free to play. It was in there when they were featuring the community. So
I didn't know that. That's very cool.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have a favorite cool artist?
I like so many genres of music. I am a musician myself, so a lot of my favorite musical artists are people in bands. One of my favorite bands is The Distillers, who not too many people have heard, but their singer is Brody Dell, and she's a pretty badass Australian lady. And
I'll have to check that out.
They're like a punk kind of band. She's got a really gravelly voice, and she's just like a really cool person.
I could never do that. The only reason my voice gets gravelly is when I first wake up in the morning.
Yeah, mine does. I cannot record in the morning, or people will never be able to understand what I say.
I saw the song you did. It was a couple months ago, I think. You promoted it via one of your Fall Guys videos.
Yeah.
And you're like, my new songs, and I saw that, and that was very good.
Thanks.
You guys had a lot of fun making that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I love anything to do with music. But
Yeah, I'm very not picky when it comes to music. Like, I just don't like anything very slow.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more of a fast-paced music person.
When it comes to rap, I quite like my kind of 90s California stuff. Like Mob Deep. Some of Snoop Dogg's old stuff's pretty good. Trying to think which. Deep Cover is probably my favorite track that he's done. And Next Episode is good as well.
Next Episode has one of the most iconic instrumentals of any.
Oh, definitely. It's so good.
Like, you hear it and you're like, oh, that's Next Episode.
Absolute classic, yeah.
It is.
Do you have a favorite film or movie?
Actually, it's funny that we bring up music and then go to movies. My favorite movie is actually heavily music-based, and it's Baby Driver by Edgar Wright.
Yep, I'm familiar with that one.
I saw that in theaters, I think 4 times.
Wow.
Because we don't have any kind of like home stereo system, so it's like once it was out of theaters, I wasn't gonna get to hear it in like high quality like that.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that movie. I love the Mission Impossible series. I have to go see the new one soon.
I've actually never seen a Mission Impossible film. Feel free to judge me.
I hadn't seen them until the 4th one, which is Ghost Protocol, came out, and I saw that on a whim. I went to a theater and saw that, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And then ever since then, they've only been getting better. And so I've been a fan since then. And I went back and rewatched the old ones.
Yeah. As much as Tom Cruise is a pretty decisive character, and he's definitely done some odd things in his personal life, he's a decent actor, for sure.
Yeah.
And he does all of his own stunts. I think he broke an ankle doing a stunt, didn't he?
That was... And then this new movie, they had a whole bunch of promotion because he did like the biggest stunt he's done so far.
Yeah.
He rode a motorbike off a cliff and into like a parachute jump.
Wow, that's insane.
Wild.
And how old is he now? He's got to be in his 50s, right?
He's in his 50s.
Yeah.
So
that's impressive.
I'm not going to be doing that in my 50s, I can tell you that.
I'm probably still going to be waiting for a mediatonic update.
That's always the thing everybody asks me is how long do I think this game will be around for?
I think it's got staying power at this point, but we'll see.
I think as much as, you know, it's been in trouble a lot of times, I think the only thing that's actually going to kill the game is if they actually shut the servers down. I think it's always going to have that casual audience that will play it when they can.
It's always going to be fun, and it's still doing really well in terms of downloads and players and everything.
I do think something that'd be massive for the game, in terms of like popularity, would be the mobile version that was being worked on.
That was my next question.
I do think absolutely, if they do that, it should not have crossplay, because I don't think there's any way anyone on a mobile phone is going to be able to compete with anyone who's not. So, and that's how most games do. Most like Fortnite, when they have their mobile version, that doesn't have crossplay because it's just this. You're at such a disadvantage.
Yeah, that's
like,
actually
imagine trying to dive stall. Imagine trying to dive stall on Hexagon with a mobile phone.
There's so many things that just wouldn't work. I mean, people already struggle with certain levels on the Switch.
That's true, yeah. As for if mobile's still happening, I don't know. We haven't heard anything about it for a long time. Yeah.
So we talked a bit about your skills when it comes to the knowledge of how the game's made and how it works, and how you might know a bit more about some of Mediatonic. And that leads me to ask, if Mediatonic actually were to employ you, and this comes from, I've heard so many stories about, I'm not calling you a hacker, but there are lots of stories about actual hackers ending up getting contacted by the FBI and stuff like that. When they find someone really skilled, they actually have been known to hire them, and then they kind of, you know, they make them a good person again. But if Mediatonic were to employ you with your current skill set, how would you go about changing the game to what you would want it to be, or working on it, that kind of thing?
I suppose it would depend on what exactly they wanted me for.
Yeah.
Like, what exactly is my job? But I remember saying well over a year ago now that I would absolutely love to be put in charge of the LTM schedule.
The limited time
events. Run the show schedule, because not only do I have enough knowledge about how the shows are put together that I think I could spot any potential problems ahead of time. Because in the past, I've been able to look at like how shows set up and be like, this is going to be a problem, and I do let them know ahead of time, but usually they don't listen to me.
Yeah. I'm
actually pretty sure that they might have me muted.
Maybe. I'm pleased that we have the OWL account at least now. That's something.
Even though it's not as active as I think a lot of us would like, but it is something.
It was, wasn't it? When they first brought it out, they were doing great.
But I would love to run the show schedule. I would make sure to make it like a huge community like thing, because I would, run weekly polls about like what shows haven't been around in a while, what shows are people asking for, things like that. I'd love to put together my own shows. I've had plenty of ideas for my own shows. I've hoped for a long time we'd get some kind of show builder, because something that's always bothered me about it is that like their system for building shows is extremely modular, and they built it that way on purpose so that they can easily make shows and whatnot. And that's why it always bothers me when there aren't any new ones, because it's not that difficult for them to put them together.
Yeah, from what I've learned from when you've posted about the different strings and shows and things like that, it doesn't seem like it would take even a few minutes to make up a different show.
No, it's the hardest part is doing all the math in your head, making sure the player counts are going to flow properly.
Yeah.
Making sure that like certain things don't show up when they're not supposed to, which they've gotten a lot better with now. In season, I want to say it was season 7, they started heavily doing the like can only be on and can't be on to make sure that rounds don't show up when they don't want them to, and that's been very useful. And the biggest example of this is Finals Marathon, which has the most complex show they've ever done. And it's because they need these specific player count versions of these rounds to show up in specific rounds only.
Oh, I see.
So, like, each version... So, like, let's take, for example, like, Blast Ball. So, obviously, there's the final version, then there's a round for round 1 with 16 players, round 2 for 12 players, and then round 3 and 4 are the same. And that's supposed to do 2 percentages, basically. Because, eliminations are based on a percentage of the lobby.
Yeah.
So... if they want to eliminate a different number of people, they have to have a different version with a different percentage.
Yeah.
And so that's why Finals Marathon is so complex, but it works perfectly how it's supposed to, and it's a very well done show, and I'm very glad that they got that to work how they wanted it to.
I always like to cut off these people that just stand on the edge.
Oh yeah, just strand them.
It's so fun. Oh, it worked. Easy as that.
I always find that funny because like this is such a fun level to me. I don't know why you wouldn't want to play it.
Yeah, and that technique almost never works. I see so many people just fall off as soon as they do that.
See, I just got run over completely, and then nothing happened to me.
What a wonderful game.
But yeah, I'd love to run the show schedule, and I have been on record saying that I think that the biggest mistake they made in season 10 was going to only one weekly show, because it really does. It has prevented me from playing a lot, because it's just like if I don't like right now, it's just low graph hex, which I don't have any interest in, and so it's just like I don't really have much reason to play unless I have someone I want to play duos with. I don't really come on. If
Mediatonic ever had a job, like a remote working job going for that kind of thing, would you apply?
Oh, I would for sure. Yeah. I've considered applying. I mean, they don't have any remote jobs as far as I'm aware, and I don't live in the UK. Of course,
it's a big commute.
Though they do work with Epic now, and I know Epic has United States offices, so I do wonder if potentially if you got hired, they could have you work like in the United States.
Yeah,
because of that.
Possible, I guess, isn't it?
Really depends what what you'd be doing, what kind of position they have open, but I definitely would like to learn some game design, some code and stuff, because it is useful to have. I took Python courses in college.
Yeah.
Mostly just as like electives to fill, because I needed credits and such. Oh dang, I tried to grab the B.
Oh, the B, no! How would you feel about answering a very horrible question?
Go ahead.
Have you ever played Stumble Guys?
I have.
The bait and switch.
I have played Stumble Guys.
Any honest thoughts on it? How it competes with Fall Guys?
Obviously, I don't like the pay to win stuff.
Yep, It's horrible.
But
now I've played it a bit. Yeah, that's not good.
it is quite bad for that. However, I will say something it has over Fall Guys, that's in general, is the games are so much shorter. It is a very quick thing. You can play like one game in less than 10 minutes if you just want to hop on.
The 3-round thing.
It really doesn't have any rounds that are similar. Every round is like completely different.
But it does have a lot less levels in total.
Yeah, which of course helps with like making every level different because you have less levels. And I've talked about this on Twitter. It has a way better custom show thing.
Because you can do a full...
Yeah, you can customize it completely. You can choose like what rounds show up and what levels. You can have bots to fill out your lobbies.
I heard that, yeah. That's very interesting.
And I like a lot of the levels that they have. Like, they have some interesting concepts. Like, I like the one that's like, it's capture the flag, but you have rocket launchers because it's just like a fun concept.
I really liked the Block Party final. I know it's not always
the Block Party,
but their version of Block Party is actually a pretty good idea.
I like how they changed it up, like how it's different from Fall Guys, the different things they do.
Yeah.
The spiky blocks, what else do they have? The laser. I like the laser level a lot. That one's fun.
That one's cool, yeah. Definitely some unique.
And they had that cool event
stuff.
A bit ago, where what was it? They had an event where like they combined Block Dash with lasers, so it was like they had the lasers on Block Dash.
Yeah.
And that was a hard event. Oh, he had so many tiles.
I know. I thought we were actually like gonna struggle there.
In trouble.
Nope. He just jumped off.
But as for like competing with Fall Guys, I mean, for one thing, it's on mobile and Fall Guys just isn't. So it has the mobile market.
Yeah. So do you think Stumble Guys is actually any threat to Fall Guys in the future?
I mean, I know it's coming to Xbox, which is interesting. I didn't actually ever think that game was going to come to console, so that is quite interesting. Oh, did you just get that?
Just got it.
Let's go.
I'm going to equip it. I've got to do it. I actually really like the costume.
I don't like bees, so that's unfortunate.
I don't mind bees. They've got their place in the world.
I'm thankful that I don't really like this pass because I haven't been playing much. So the only level I need to get to is 51, which is the strawberry milk, and then after that I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, I like this.
And I'm already 37, so I'll be fine. But as for if it's a threat to Fall Guys, I mean, it's definitely had some big collabs. They've had some surprisingly big collabs, like
Mr. Beast.
I mean, they have an entire season themed around Mr. Beast.
And he's helped to design some of the levels, supposedly. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they said.
Fall Guys never really wanted to collab with Mr. Beast. They only did it because he donated so much.
Yeah.
Because I remember he had reached out, I think, earlier on when the game was first becoming popular about it. He did a whole bunch of videos on his gaming channel.
Yeah.
He did so many videos on it. He had multiple monetary videos where like it was like a prize on the line. And they just they weren't interested. It wasn't until he did the charity thing that like they actually were interested. And those skins never come back.
I think that's actually a big thing to take note of. I think Stumble Guys would collab with anyone that wanted to, or anyone that asks them. I think Fall Guys is quite
more picky.
I think they're careful with who they want to represent their game as a brand and everything.
I would love to be on the inside meetings of how they come up with their collabs, because some of them just seem like something that I've never heard of or I didn't even think of,
Yeah.
Like when they did the first big one for me was the Doom collab. That was out of left field. That was so dark and so much more mature than this game. When that happened, I was like, oh my god, they did Doom.
Very adult games that they've done collabs with.
Yeah, that one they did. Hotline Miami was their own company. Well, it was Devolver.
Yeah.
So that one made sense. They did Nier Automata, which was not a game for children at all.
Oh no. I've seen a video of that, but I've never played it.
Even now, they did Alien in season 8, which that's a very scary movie for kids and whatnot.
Yeah. Whenever people say you see a lot on the Reddit, people are like, oh, Fall Guys is just a kids game, and then I always say, but look at who they've done collabs with. I don't think this is just a kid's game.
I'm glad they did a Doctor Who collab. I knew it was inevitable because they are a UK company, and it was just a matter of time. Every game that's made in the UK eventually has a Doctor Who something. It just happens.
And it's great.
I am extremely excited for those cosmetics to come to the shop.
Yeah, we get some more again. That's another thing.
The TARDIS celebration.
Another thing a lot of the people that have used as an excuse for Stumble Guys when they're saying it's better is the collabs, but you have to remember, to all those people, Fall Guys is an English game, and most of us in England don't know what Nerf is. We don't know what NFL is. So we have big collabs with things that we know what they are. We don't necessarily have big collabs with something that's very American, which is ironic because Stumble Guys, I believe, is made in Finland.
Yeah, I think it's Finland. Yeah. They did a change recently where they're doing the system that allows you to unlock more costumes without having to pay, which it's an interesting way of how they've done it.
Is that the Beast Bucks stuff in Stumble Guys?
No, it's the shards. So we have crown shards. So basically, they have these like costume shards where like you as you unlock stuff and get these shards, like each costume requires a certain number of shards, and then you unlock it. And so you get shards for each kind of costume. So like, say there's a penguin costume, you get like, and it needs like 45 penguin shards. You can get penguin shards, and once you get the 45, you get that costume.
Yeah, that's quite nice.
And so that's an interesting way of doing it.
We both almost just fell down there.
I saw that. I was reading their blog about it, and they wanted to make it so that there's just ways to unlock costumes without having to pay, which is always a good thing, of course.
Definitely.
And they actually have a very interesting system for when it rolls over. So you can always get shards for a costume you already have. But what happens is once you refill a costume, instead of getting a duplicate, it goes towards this bank of like spare shards, basically. And once you get a certain number, you then get access to spend those on something random for that price. So you can get other cosmetics that way. So it's good that they're not wasted.
I do like their free daily wheel as well. I feel like if Fall Guys
that's nice. Like Fall Guys could do that for sure.
Like, even if it could just give, like little kudos items or just kudos, things like that. That would be pretty good.
There are a lot of things this game could do that would keep people to come back every day.
Yeah.
And I actually think that some of the recent changes they've done, while they've been great for us getting our challenges done, have hurt the game. Like
the custom stuff.
Yeah, I think the problem is, and I understand what they're doing because they wanted to make it so that if you, say, never play live shows and you only play custom with like streamers, you can still level up and things like that. But the problem is, you don't need to play the live game anymore.
Yeah, we've all done it. We've found the quickest custom game. We've all loaded up lane changes, played it 10 times, and that's the daily's done.
For me, it was the one. I think it's Sky High Run. That one I like a lot.
Yeah, that's a really nice aesthetic.
I think it's Pana Banana. And that's definitely. I'm not sure if you have any questions on the discovery.
Oh, I died.
Oh no.
I tried grabbing someone and my internet just completely dropped. I'm still falling, in fact. There we go. At least loads of other people died. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I just got full red Wi-Fi and just, I don't know what happened there.
Did you have any questions about creative and how it's gone?
I've got one more question on my list, and then you can...
Okay.
Until the end of this full round, I'll just let you speak about your thoughts for the future of the game. This is kind of in the future, but my last question is, does Fall Guys need a mobile version to continue to survive and thrive?
One? I wouldn't say it needs one to compete specifically with Stumble Guys. However, I think the bigger problem is that the Switch version is not the best, and right now the only way you can play this game on mobile is with the Switch.
Yeah.
And so I think a mobile version would really help them in that regard. I don't know if I'd say that like the game's gonna die if we don't get a mobile version. However, the problem I see is that whether it be Stumble Guys or a new game that comes along, if a game comes along that is sort of like Fall Guys, like around the same quality, but is on mobile, they're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, I think it could really help them if they continue to work on it. Obviously, we know they've worked on it in the past, and we just haven't seen much recently. Do you think
Am I
they
holding
might
the
still
lobby
be working on
hostage?
it?
I think they are, because I remember, I think it was Max tweeted that they're. Oh dear, I'm dead.
Oh, we're fine though.
Yeah, I think Max tweeted that they were doing some more work on that kind of thing, and I remember he also tweeted about them working on co-op. Not co-op, on split screen.
Yeah, I saw that.
I remember he did clarify later that it was something they were considering, not necessarily something they were working on at this moment. But I do think they have been working on split screen.
I get the feeling like they've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, maybe even to the extent of taking everything out of Unity and just trying to make the game almost a different, easier thing to work on.
That's kind of the
scratch.
problem I have with mediatonic as a whole. It's like if you know they are doing all these things behind the scenes, and like if
Tell
the
us.
reason for this content, yeah, like you don't have to say what you're doing, but just like we're working on something big, and that's why there's not much content right now. But we promise it'll be worth it. But we just don't have anything.
I would love that to be the truth. I really hope that they're working on a bunch of stuff, and we just need to hold on.
I was surprised when we saw those experimental features and we saw how many things they had been working on in the background. Like we didn't know about any of that. Yeah, the tethering.
It looks so great.
I think they're doing what I really wanted them to do, which like they're trying to move away from. They've realized that they can't just continue making obstacle courses for 10 years.
Yes.
And that's not what people are really necessarily playing the game for.
No.
Because, I mean... So, I think they're doing what is important, but, like, you know, if they're working on these big things, you know, it shouldn't be up to the leakers to let us know, I don't think.
I feel like the people that have been leaking the game have done so much more than any advertisements or videos or tweets from the company. There's just not enough of that. Even when there's a big event, it'll be like the day before and they'll go, look, this is out tomorrow. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's funny you bring that up, even today. I mean, today is their third birthday.
Yep.
Which happy birthday, Fall Guys.
Happy birthday, Fall Guys.
It's been a journey.
And all of this comes from love for the game. Whenever there's any complaints from a lot of people, it is just concern that the game isn't fulfilling its potential.
If I didn't love this game, I would not still be here 3 years later complaining.
We know how much potential it has.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I think they have to go. Is I've always said they need to move away from well, now it's 40 player, but like when I say 60 player, you know what I mean in terms of like size. They need to move away from a 40 player battle royale obstacle course game because that is not sustainable. There's only so many obstacles you can.
It's your favorite level. We get to end on your favorite level.
But can we end on a win? Good question.
I hope so. There is a gold wolf here.
I saw that indigo wolf tail.
Oh, okay. I wonder if they're on the same team.
They're together.
Ooh.
So
we've got our work cut out.
I mean, I've got over 6,000 crowns combined, if you combine my two accounts.
Yeah, I'm closing in on Marvelous now. I'm like 370 away.
But you're not going to hit it this season. Oh, jeez.
Probably not.
Hey, you got another 10 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't know, but I'm fairly sure.
Do you think that season pass is going to extend the season?
I think that it's highly marketed for this current season, and what I kind of said is that they have all the reason in the world to hide a Final Fantasy collab until they want to really reveal it, which was what they did.
Yep.
They have no reason to hide the season theme because it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're gonna reveal like the biggest collab in the season and the pass and everything, why wouldn't you give us the theme? You've already given away the biggest part of it.
We just want more hype. Do you know what happened with all of the like community managers and stuff? Because we used to hear from them so often, and now there's just nothing.
I think they are partially back because I mean they've been retweeting a ton of community art for their birthday, which is great to see. I love when they you know love their community.
Oh, gold wolf down.
Nice. But I don't know. I wonder if potentially there was something that happened with Epic where they needed like a different kind of community manager, or they just weren't able to like speak as freely as they could before.
That's what I thought. Oh, we did it! Yes.
Let's go.
That's what I felt like, was that a lot of the change with Mediatonic's social media was probably just more rules imposed on them, because as soon as that Epic buyout happened, we just got less and less communication, and we just don't know how much control they have.
What confuses me about that though is that like, while Epic doesn't have like a bunch of community managers for Fortnite and everything, they are still like way more open about what's going on.
Oh, it said I lost. What?
Oh no!
What?
Oh wait, yes. Oh yeah.
But
oh, we had the bug. Oh.
What happened there?
So there is a very rare bug that I don't quite understand.
I've never
If I had the tracker up, I would have seen this. So basically what happens is you'll load into a round, and before the round has even begun, the game will have already decided that you've been eliminated.
What?
And I don't know what causes this. I've looked into not the strings didn't give me any information, but I looked into the log, the game log, and in my case it was Hoopsy Legends that the game had thought I was eliminated, but basically, like, before the countdown even begins for the Hoopsy Legends, the game has already decided that our team has no points and is not qualified.
Wow.
And the way I know this is because you get your rewards. I saw them in the log, and that's the very last step of the show. After that, the game doesn't track you anymore.
So did we still get our rewards for that, or is that just
We got our rewards up to the round that it said we got eliminated in, which was round 4. Which was the Hoopsy Legends, I believe.
I've never seen that bug. That's so weird.
I've only had it happen once before.
What a way to end an episode.
I tried to figure out. So I found a bunch of clips of it on Reddit, and I thought Jump Club was the common thing, but we didn't have Jump Club in that. There was no Jump Club in that show, so I don't know what causes it. It's very strange.
I wonder what the other players see. Like, if they see a winner screen, or if everyone just gets kicked out.
That's what I wondered too. Like, who wins the show? Like, is it the second place team that gets the win there? Or does nobody win? Is it a zero claw?
I can only assume it treats it as a everyone died at the same time kind of thing and no one wins. But then it would show an elimination screen, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but we wouldn't know because we see the winner screen, but then we get eliminated.
Oh yeah. Who knows? So, another weird mystery.
It's very strange. A very weird bug that started happening in this season, and they haven't. I don't even know if they know about it. It's very rare. Like you said, you've played the game so much, and you've never seen it.
We've been blessed with the rarest possible win, a loss.
What a way to end.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your interview.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I hope to be back, some other time for some other reason.
We'll have to look at some more custom maps and things again as well.
Maybe we should look at some creative expansion. I haven't looked at any.
Oh yeah, we could build up some of that.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And for everyone watching, you can follow Muffins on Twitter. There'll be a link in the description. Feel free to like and comment on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't. It's free. And I'll see you in another video soon. Goodbye.
Bye bye.